So basically, Zohran Mamdani, AOC, Bernie Sanders, there's somebody who wants to challenge Hakeem Jeffries for his seat in New York, and Zohran, AOC, and Bernie, and all the leading progressives who actually have power are saying it's not the time to challenge Jeffries. We actually want to use power, be effective, show progressives can govern in New York City, then we'll get benefit from that for the entire movement. And Kyle Kulinski is going to say AOC and Zohran, they're dumb for trying to be pragmatic here.
See here that I want to walk you through. So this is an Axios exclusive. AOC says Jeffries primary challenge, not a good idea. Not a good idea. So Hakeem Jeffries just got a primary challenge, and this was her reaction. Let's read through some of it before I react here. Representative AOC signaled in an interview with Axios on Monday.
Yo, good job, Kit in chat. Whenever they say TDS, they really mean Trump D-sucking.
That she
that's
would
what
not
they mean.
support New York City Council member
up.
Chi Ase in a primary challenge against House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. Ocasio-Cortez is one of several high-profile progressives distancing from Ase's potential run, arguing that it is a distraction from New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani's victory. Progressive Change Campaign Committee head Adam Green told Politico, quote, "It is not the right moment to launch a primary challenge against Hakeem Jeffries." When is the right moment, by the way?
So Kyle tends to look at politics like a 12-year-old. So Zohran right now, he needs to be a proof of concept, okay? He's going to be in New York. He's going to need money from D.C., mostly from Albany in New York, the capital of New York. He needs to be effective. He has around 6 to 12 months to get something done, all right? He has 6 to 12 months. And if that 12 months is going to be occupied by some random guy who has zero chance to be Hakeem Jeffries. He's not well connected. He has no friends. He has no DSA friends. He has no friends with Democrats. That Ase guy that wants to run against Jeffries has zero chance whatsoever. Like, Jeffries is not unpopular in his district. Instead of Zohran focusing on getting connections politically to wage power, to prove he can be a successful progressive executive running a city in New York, because progressives usually don't get a chance to show they can actually lead a city. Okay, this is the entire game here if Zohran can get this done. Kyle wants him to be occupied with petty partisan, like not even partisan, but petty anti-establishment politics. Like the Hail Mary shot was getting Zohran in, and Zohran had to. It's not even a Hail Mary. He had to win by running the ball, like pounding yard for yard for yard for yard. And now it's about getting actual results, getting in the end zone. And that's where the focus needs to be, okay?
Can you answer that for me?
That's what they're doing.
When would be the right moment?
And if Zohran's successful,
go after...
if you want AOC, if you want a progressive president, okay, the proof of concept here, Zohran can give huge momentum to AOC, okay, who also is in New York City, okay? She is also representing a part of New York.
A leader who's objectively a weak and bad leader, who's objectively too pro-corporate, who takes a tremendous amount of money from AIPAC
it's politics,
in the midst of an Israeli genocide and still defends them after they bomb schools and hospitals.
It's politics.
When is the right moment? Can you answer that for me? Mamdani also appeared to discourage his fellow Democratic Socialists of America member on Monday. Quote, "I believe that there are many ways right here in New York City to both deliver on an affordability agenda."
Former Democratic Socialist member. Okay, that guy just joined the DSA with Zohran. He just joined it. He talked crap about the DSA before. I'm not a DSA member. I would not do that personally. But the person who they want to run against, Hakeem Jeffries, is not really a member either. He just joined.
Take on the authoritarian administration in the White House, Mamdani told reporters of Ase. Ocasio-Cortez told Axios during a brief interview at the U.S. Capitol that she was not aware that Ase was challenging Jeffries, but she added, "I certainly don't think a primary challenge to the leader is a good idea right now." Ocasio demurred on other races, declining to weigh in on whether she would support New York City Comptroller Brad Lander if he runs against Representative Dan Goldman. Ase filed paperwork with the Federal Election Commission on Monday to run for Jeffries' district, which covers portions of Brooklyn. He said in a statement he is exploring a run because Democratic leadership is not only failing to effectively fight back against Donald Trump, they have also failed to deliver a vision that we can all believe in. Jeffries, who had previously repeatedly dismissed the notion of an Ase primary challenge, told reporters at a press conference Monday, "Come on in, the water is warm." So here's why this is disappointing. This guy who's running against Hakeem Jeffries, Zohran, that was you. That was you. You were running against the golden child. You were running against the establishment's man. You were running.
You're saying Andrew Cuomo, a disgraced governor who is a through and through creep. He looks creepy. He talks creepy. He talks to women creepy, even in public today. He had to resign from office. He was popular with some older voters and billionaires, but you're going to compare Andrew Cuomo to Hakeem Jeffries in a House district where he's pretty popular in his district, and all the polls show him 50 points up in a 1v1 race, not a race where it's like 50 candidates who voters want to get to know more. Like, it's not comparable whatsoever. And, you know, it's the House leader. It's not Cuomo. And Hakeem Jeffries, I don't love him, but, like, his weakness is not nearly as bad as Chuck Schumer. Okay, Chuck Schumer is one of the least popular politicians in American history, like unironically, especially for a party leader. Like if Hakeem Jeffries was at Chuck Schumer levels of terrible, but Hakeem Jeffries has kept Democrats voting in the right direction every time so far, which is what his job is. His job is not to be a fiery populist on the microphone. Ugh.
Against Andrew Cuomo. You also ran against, Eric Adams, for example.
I'm a notorious Hakeem Jeffries hater,
with this sort
too.
of mindset that you're now applying to this guy, people applied it to you, and they said,
I am a hater.
What are you doing?
But still,
we already have our candidates.
I'm
We already have Eric Adams. We already have Andrew Cuomo. They represent the...
Bro, no one liked Eric Adams. Eric Adams was also compromised. They were all compromised by Trump. They were extremely weak candidates. Now, Zohran's win is a historic win, probably one of the most impressive wins in American history, like unironically. Like, for real. Triple for real. Like, it is. It's amazing what he was able to do. But we cannot talk like he was running against people that were actually popular.
Democratic brand. Like, just let them cook. But you said, no, it's not good enough. They're not good enough. They don't fight Trump. They don't deliver on actual leftist values. We're going to stand up and actually represent something, and we're going to change the Democratic Party, and we're going to have our Democratic Tea Party moment. And so people said that about you, right? But you didn't listen to them, and then you went on to win. AOC, this was you. You were this guy. Except you did it against Joe Crowley, who was like next in line to be a Democratic leader, and you beat him, and I'm fucking happy that you did. Now, look,
well, no, so like in a different scenario where you already have, like we already have AOC elected in New York City, we already have Zohran Mamdani elected in New York City. If AOC back then was in the position that Ase's in now, then maybe it would have been bad for her for her to run. But like, she also did not run against the House Speaker. There's so many different variables that are at play here that make it much more complicated than when she ran. And that Crowley guy, he did not care at all. Like, he barely did anything. He barely campaigned, but he wasn't the House leader. Like, there's so many differences. There was nothing to jeopardize at that moment. There was no political power, and now there actually is political power. And now Zohran Mamdani can be someone who leads the Democratic Party. You know, AOC can be someone who leads the party, and they don't want to just like fumble that opportunity because they want to primary and make enemies within the party. The number one issue with Bernie Sanders is that he never made connections in Washington. Okay, and I understand it, it's not fun. Politics sucks, but it is politics, all right? Whether you're a good person, bad person, the people who freed slaves, the people who were able to do Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act, they had to get votes from terrible people. But it's politics. You want to get results for people, you got to play it. You got to know what's going on.
Look, I get it. Some people will say, well, steelman their argument. Okay, to steelman their argument, they feel like in order to get any of our agenda done, we need the buy-in from the more centricity of the people from within our coalition, from within our caucus, from within our
whole game.
So they can't feel like we're their enemy as we're trying to like get stuff done with them right now.
Yeah.
And so basically the argument is like, hey, I think we can convince Jeffries and others to go along with our agenda, but he's only going to do that if I show support for him over the person fucking running against him, right? Like, that's the mindset. Here's why that falls apart, though. AOC is definitely either going to run for the Senate or run for president. So you're not even going to be in the House that much longer.
Think about that, though. Okay, like, we're talking about progressive politics in general. Whether AOC is in the House or not, like, the funding we're talking about, the bills we're talking about, the way it affects legislation and House processes and committee assignments, like, just because AOC might not be in the House in 4 years, you think it's okay to collapse everything right now for the next year or 2 years? And like I said, Zohran Mamdani has 6 months, 12 months to get stuff done, to show he's going to be an effective leader. He does not have 3 years or 2 years. He does not have all this time. He does not have a full presidential term. He doesn't have like 2 terms in office to get this stuff done. People want to see results. He came in with a huge mandate, huge popularity, a huge vision, and he needs to get something done. And Kyle just said that AOC is going to be running for president, or for, and what if she loses for president? Or like, what if she doesn't run for Senate? Like, it's still like the next 6 months, Zohran needs to go off and do really good things. All right, we don't have time to wait for AOC to run in 10 years.
Like, you're not,
or 4 years, whatever.
Why not just tell the truth? Why not just say this guy
it's
sucks
not just
at
about
fighting
you,
Trump?
buddy.
Why
it's
not just say
about you.
He's bought by fucking AIPAC, and it's time to have a real Democratic Tea Party and have a bunch of AOCs and Zohran Mamdanis get elected? Why not just tell the truth? Look, I get it. She's been like attacked by the establishment Democrats before, and that, that was a trying time for her. But like this, if there was ever the moment, this is the moment. This is the Democratic Tea Party. And by the way, you also just could have said nothing, right? You also just could have said, I'm not commenting on that race. You could have done that. You could have said, I'm not going to tip the scales in favor of the shitty fucking Democratic leader who cucks himself to Trump and who doesn't know how to fight and who's sold out to fucking AIPAC. It's unbelievable. So it makes no sense for AOC. With Zohran, I would get it. When it comes to like the other primary challengers to Hochul, that I get for Zohran to say, I'm not saying nothing because I got to work with Hochul. If Hochul's the one who ends up winning, my agenda goes through her. I need to work with her. I need to work through her.
It's not just
so
Hochul.
I can't come out here and say I'm going to endorse Hochul's primary challenger in the hopes that person wins, and then, I'd have an easier time working with that person in the future. No, it's a 50% chance I will have to do my agenda through Hochul. So I get him saying that about Hochul, but this wasn't about Hochul, Zohran. This was about Hakeem Jeffries. And I don't get it. I have to say, I don't get it. For all the Democrats out there.
No, it's about showing that you're going to get a solid mandate, have a firm grasp on what you do, a firm grip on your power and also the coalition that you're a part of. And you're able to lead that coalition in a real way that moves political power in a way that creates change and wields influence in the right way. That's what it's about. It's about showing that you're not just a bunch of progressive college kids who want to talk about free stuff without ever actually getting stuff done. And having random people do annoying primary challenges and when they aren't built for it, when they're not ready for it, when they have no chance to win. So there's like a 0% chance they win. It's not the same as AOC versus whatever. Like Hakeem Jeffries is young. He's still pretty popular. I know I have issues with Hakeem Jeffries, but you have to look at the actual voters. Okay? A lot of people have issues with Alyssa Slotkin in Michigan because she's center right as a politician. But you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention. The voters voted for her. You can't just pretend like they're not real people. Like, it's not that easy. And not everyone's going to be as skilled as Zohran or AOC. They're generational talents. But they want to make it so that being progressive is not like a dirty word, or being a democratic socialist is not a dirty word, so that you can have people win who are in their coalition without needing them to be generational talents. You can't rely on having LeBron James in politician form every single time you have someone run. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, you got to be very... You got to build this stuff.
Stop being fucking cautious. Stop being fucking nice.
Slotkin, as far as the center goes, is a lot better than Chuck Schumer, but I wouldn't.
We're sick of it.
Pick her in a primary.
We had Antonio Delgado on Crystal Kyle and Friends the other day, and he's running against Hochul, and he's doing I'm the...
in a world of Chuck Schumers, Slotkin is really good, but I wouldn't vote for her in a primary. Okay, that's what I'll say. But at least she's 50-something. She seems to have some grip on where the political winds are going. But yeah, if she's the conservative wing of the party, I'm fine with that. If we get John Fetterman out of there and some other people, then...
Crystal Kyle and Friends the other day, and he's running against Hochul, and he's doing I'm the insurgent challenger thing, like I'm the next Zohran type thing. And when we asked him in our interview, hey, do you support Chuck Schumer stepping down? Should Chuck Schumer resign? He dodged. And it's like, I don't get it. Are you the insurgent or are you not? Are you the truth teller or are you not?
Thank you for $5, Ellie. Owning the mouth breathers, hopefully. Well, I'm actually going to stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, okay? So we'll get some callers. We'll get a lot of callers this week.
If you are the insurgent, if you are the truth teller, you're supposed to say,
I put up a lot of videos
he should
today.
Step down.
We're going to get
He
consistent,
sucks at fighting
okay?
Trump. He keeps fucking caving to Trump.
I'm going to start releasing schedules and stuff too. Now, all this stuff Kyle's saying right now is fine. Like, these are arguments for okay, we don't love the speaker. We wish it was somebody else. Like, for the Senate, we wish it was Chris Murphy. But like in the House, I don't know who it would even be. Like, if you had a different speaker, who's to say you don't waste all this political capital and the speaker ends up being just as bad as Hakeem Jeffries, or way worse? Like, Hakeem Jeffries is not that bad. Like, he's not as good as Nancy Pelosi, but he's not as bad as it could be, bro. Like, he's not as bad as it could be. So beating him might make things worse. And then you have somebody like Hakeem Jeffries, who you've built all these deals with, you built this partnership. You're gonna say, hey, we have this much power and support. Use our power and support for these reasons. We have these priorities. You're gonna kick him out with somebody who's not gonna work with you, possibly. Like, it just doesn't work.
He's way too pro-corporate. He's bought by AIPAC, so he's representing Israel as they do a genocide. We need real change. We need a Democratic Party that actually stands for some real ass shit. That is not Chuck Schumer. That is not Hakeem Jeffries. So it's disappointing. It's disappointing. Because, if Zohran had his way and AOC had her way, it's like, you want Zohran and AOC to be the only Zohrans and AOCs in the fucking country. But we don't want that. We don't want the occasional token leftist.
It's so dumb.
We want a fucking a
Yeah, if you want that, then you gotta play ball. You gotta stop being a dummy.
giant block of you guys. That's what we want. We want people who are actually going to fight, who are actually going to bring about change, who are actually going to stand up to Israel, who are actually going to try to get us Medicare for all.
Why is Israel the only... I understand why, but like, I'm thinking about the Saudis and Qatar and UAE. I'm thinking about what happens in Yemen with our backing and full support and funding, like pretty much. And the AI chips we're giving to China, the support of the broad support of, well, not broad, but like the propaganda reinforcement for Russian propaganda. There's a lot of other, I don't know, still talk about it, but the APAC as well being the only lobby, the crypto lobby is bigger than APAC. It's a bigger issue. And I would argue that the crypto lobby and Palantir, and that goes with like big money power in politics. And also they have a huge influence on what happens in Palestine and Israel. Like their weapon systems and their AI systems are being used there in a very corrupt way, in a very inhumane war criminal way. Like I don't know why it's only APAC when they bring it up. Like why is it only APAC? Like landlords in America, I think donate more money than APAC does. Like the landlord association, whatever that's called, whatever that pack is called. And the crypto, yeah, I don't know. I know why. I do know why. I'm just food for thought. It's just there's some more things to.
Who are actually going to not allow Trump to continue getting away with fascism all casually, willy-nilly, right? And so I get it. They're trying to, hey, we don't want to piss off the centrists because we have to work with the centrists. In some instances, that makes sense, like with Hochul and Zohran. I get that. But outside of Hochul and Zohran, you definitely could have said it. Zohran could have said it about Hakeem Jeffries, and AOC could have said it about Hakeem Jeffries. And if I'm missing something about why you don't want to cross him, then fucking come out and tell us what that is. What is it?
They don't got to tell you, big bro, little bro, medium, whatever. They don't got to, like, why? So you can make a YouTube video about it? How about you say, well, these are the most successful progressive politicians in modern history. So their direction right now, I might have some reservations, but I'm going to see where it goes. I'm going to follow their lead. And hopefully if it doesn't work, they adjust and they come to my side more. Hopefully it works and maybe I agree with them. You're not going to be like, oh, tell us right now what you're doing behind the scenes. Like maybe they need it to develop more. Maybe they know stuff you don't know. What's happening right now may never be public. You may never know what the negotiations are.
Is he going to find a way to dock?
Thank you for becoming a supporter. Unfortunate altar boy. That's a crazy at. I don't know what your actual name is, but the YouTube is showing ats instead of names. But thank you so much. I think you're new. I don't know though, because you might have a different actual name other than unfortunate altar boy.
Your small dollar donor money now. If you come out and say, yeah, I want his opponent to win, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Tell me what I'm missing. Right? And they won't come out and say, here's actually why I said that. Here's the tactical strategic reason why I said that. And so we're just left out here trying to fucking piece it together ourselves. But I'm tired of like having to give the benefit of the doubt to people who should just be saying the obviously true things. You should be saying the obviously true thing that Chuck Schumer sucks at this and Hakeem Jeffries sucks at this. They're pro-corporate. They're pro-APAC. They're not fighters. And that's got to stop. We need a new Democratic Party, right? Do you believe that or not? If you believe that, stand on business. Fucking 10 toes down. Yes, anybody who's closer to my ideology, I will fucking fight for. I will be on their side. Or like I said, worst case scenario, just don't say dick. Just fucking, hey, I'm not saying anything about any of it.
We're going to primary a couple more Democrats and we're going to have 17 progressives in the House instead of 10, and we're going to get nothing done still. Woohoo, good job.
Worst case scenario, but you didn't. This is basically like a low-key semi-endorsement of fucking Hakeem Jeffries is what it is. And you're basically saying I'm cool with us continuing to get fucking rolled.
No, she's saying that we're working on wielding power in the party. Don't mess it up. That's what she's saying.
Rolled by Trump. That's what you're saying. If you want this guy to continue to be, I don't think it's the right time right now. When is the right time? When is the right time? Fascism is rapidly taking over the country. The warmongering is endless. The corruption is through the goddamn roof. Right now, we've seen plenty of evidence that the Tea Party is here for the left. You have Graham Plattner, who's leaning by 1 million against Janet Mills, the establishment choice. Zohran just won. If not now, when?
Even in the right-wing Tea Party, they never were able to take control of the House or the Senate leadership. Like right now, the Trumpism MAGA movement took it over. But even in the core of the Tea Party, with all the populists that won then and for MAGA, they never took control of the House. The most they got now is Mike Johnson, who was never like MAGA. He's just a crazy fundamentalist, like weird closeted Christian guy. fake Christian guy. Like they had McCarthy. McCarthy was not MAGA and not really Tea Party. They had what, Paul Ryan, and I forget who was before Paul Ryan, but like even in the peak of that, they never won that much. They never won that much institutional power.
When? Or are you saying we
inferring.
always and forever have to deal with the shitty Democrats, and more than that, not even try to get rid of them? It'd be one thing to say, we're always going to have some shitty Democrats. We always have to work with them to one extent or another. It just is what it is. Okay, it's a totally another thing to say, but let's not even try to get rid of the shitty Democrats with better Democrats.
Now, these are the same people who said, like, if force the vote happened, if we had a vote on Medicare for all, the whole world would be different now. Trump never would have been a dictator, but nothing would have happened. If they forced a vote for Medicare for all, they would have just destroyed their party connections. And also, they'd be unpopular with the Democratic base.
Democrats. What the fuck is that? What is that? So, I'm just
like there really would be something where it's like there would be an effect where Democrats, when they vote in 2028 for a centrist or a progressive, they will remember if progressives spent this time after Zohran wins, if they put the pedal to the metal and got work done and willed power, or if they decided to just like crash everything down and continue to be annoying. And to go against party leadership. Like Chuck Schumer is super unpopular in the party. That's a little bit of a different scenario. People want him to step down. But Hakeem Jeffries, that would be seen as a circular fire squad. That would be seen as unnecessary punching to the left or within left infighting for no reason. Democrats would be turned off by progressives at a moment when progressives are rising.
I'm just so sick of the caution. This is Democrat 101. It's the caution. I forget who said it, but somebody...
Like, if Zohran Mamdani ran against a popular incumbent Democrat, he never would have won. He never would have won. Now is his chance to prove he would... he's worthy. He's able to prove... He's proving he's worthy now of winning. But if there was an incumbent Democrat that's relatively popular, like Hakeem Jeffries is right now, Zohran never would have had a shot in hell to win. He never would have gotten close to win. I don't know why people don't understand that. Like, there were very unique conditions that allowed him to go from 1% to blowing out Andrew Cuomo, and him being so terrible is part of it. Like Andrew Cuomo being so terrible, but you can't just like have this in your brain that like, oh, he would have won any race against anybody. Like maybe he could have rose up and won a nail biter. I could see that as a possibility in ranked choice voting. Or maybe like Seattle, he could have won by a couple thousand votes, like the progressive did there. But like you can't, you got to understand where you are and stay in your body when you make these decisions.
Made the argument. I forget who it was. I really wish I could remember. But they made the point that like you have no idea how cautious Democrats are, even when it comes to the media. So like they'll have a meeting about what to do about a certain issue, and somebody will float something, and somebody will go, "Ooh, but that might get us like a bad article in CNN or the New York Times."
It's not about that.
It's like,
it's not about
what
that.
What do you think? It's fucking like 1958. Like, why are you acting like that's a
my concern?
I would rather there be 1,000 negative articles about you on Fox News than like nothing about you at all. And that's what they seem to want. I don't want any negative press. Let me just stay like hide from the world as a politician. What the fuck is that? No, there is no such thing as bad press in today's day and age. Have you not realized that yet? That you want Fox News coming after you. You want the right making you public enemy number one. You want to get attention no matter where the fuck it comes from. You want to drive the conversation where you want to drive the conversation. But they're scared. They're scared to do that. And this smells of the same thing to me. Like, you're afraid to just tell the truth and say it like it is. Hakeem Jeffries is not fucking ready for this moment. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. But there you have it. AOC, that's pretty disappointing. And look, with this cautious mindset, this is not a good harbinger of things to come. If you want to run for the Senate or you want to run for president, if this is the way you're answering questions, you're not going to succeed. To be fair, I think no matter what, she would beat Schumer if she ran for Senate and he was still running. He might retire, by the way. But that New York Senate seat, yeah, that could be hers for sure, right? But if you want to run for president, answers like this, bro, you got a long way to go, man. You got to be a lot more freewheeling. You got to be a lot more shooting from the hip. You got to be a lot more 10 toes down. Like, yeah, I just said that shit. It could be some wild ass shit, but I just said it and I'm rocking that shit. Like, come at me. I don't give a fuck.
Speaking of Israel, there's really funny articles being shared. Not funny, but in a morbid way. So like Associated Press just shared an article yesterday saying, breaking, at least 24 are dead and 54 wounded after Israeli airstrikes in Gaza test the ceasefire test. So 24 people dead, 54 injured, with the Israeli military testing the ceasefire that began in October. Now, usually, when you have 24 people die, when you have 80 wounded to the point of needing extreme care, because usually if you count wounded, you're not going to do it for a scratch, obviously. So people are badly wounded. Like, that's not a testing ceasefire. Okay, testing ceasefire, testing. They're just testing it, guys. Thank you for $5, Ivan or Ivar. Call in to defend your daddy. I don't, with that name Ivar, seems like he might be from Russia. Call in to defend your daddy Trump, or you're scared, question mark. Thank you for $5. Thank you for all the jewels. At Shifty. Shift50, whatever that name is. Appreciate everyone watching. Thank you for dropping a like, comment, subscribing. Thank you earlier, Sly, for the $2. I think I said thank you as well. But yeah, no callers today. We talked to somebody for 2 minutes earlier. Troll. But we will be back tomorrow. Maybe later tonight if I get bored. Don't count on that. Probably not, but definitely tomorrow. I've been trying to do 9 p.m. I've been trying 9 p.m., but we're not getting any callers. We get more callers at 11 for some reason, but we have to fix the algorithm. We'll figure it out. Thank you for watching. Please drop a like, comment, subscribe.